You don't need millions in the bank to become wealthy. You don't need luck or a chance meeting or a miracle. What you truly need is one decision: the decision to stop drifting through life as if chance controls you, and the decision to begin mastering your own destiny. That single decision has built empires. That single decision has lifted men and women from nothing into greatness. That single decision can change the course of your life starting today. This choice does not belong only to the rich. It does not belong only to the educated. It belongs to anyone who will make it and obey it. If you stay with me until the end of this video, you will see the law behind this choice. You will hold in your hand a formula so clear, so certain, that you can never again call wealth a mystery. You will know that poverty is not fate and riches are not chance. You will know that drifting is death and mastery is life. But before we continue, I must give you a warning. If you listen to these words only as entertainment, you will gain nothing. If you treat this law as inspiration but not as command, you will stay exactly as you are. Drifters wait. They wait for better days. They wait for luck, for help, for the perfect moment. But that moment never comes. Masters act. They hear a truth and they obey it. They see an opening and they move. They do not ask for permission and they do not beg for guarantees. You cannot be both. You cannot drift in the morning and master at night. You cannot wish with your lips and command with your actions. You will be one or the other. When this video ends, you will leave as a drifter or as a master. And if you choose mastery, then prepare yourself, because this law does not serve the half-hearted. It serves only those who are definite. Look around you. Most people drift. They rise in the morning with no fire. They repeat the same routines, earn the same small wage, and end each year no further than before. They die with their dreams still locked inside them. And yet in the same world, under the same sun, another man builds a fortune. Another woman lifts her voice and becomes a leader. Another life rises from nothing into power. Why? Not because of money, not because of education, not because of family or luck. It is because they stopped drifting and chose mastery. Drifting is easy. It asks nothing from you but your surrender. It carries you slowly, safely, quietly, until you realize the years are gone and you have nothing to show. Mastery is harder, but it is worth everything. It means you command your thoughts, you ignite your desire, you make decisions and act on them. You treat the law of riches as a servant, not as a mystery. Think for a moment of Steve Jobs. He was not born into wealth nor handed a path to power. As a young man, he dropped out of college because his parents could no longer afford it. He had no degree, no guarantees, and no safety net. For a time, his dream looked promising. He and a friend built Apple in a garage and the world applauded. But then came betrayal. He was pushed out of his own company, stripped of the creation he had poured his life into. At that moment, many men would have given up. They would have drifted into bitterness, found ordinary work, and spent their years complaining of injustice. But Jobs made a decision. He refused to drift. He built again. First Next, then Pixar. He risked everything on new ideas while the world doubted him. And when the chance came, he returned to Apple, not as a victim seeking pity, but as a master with vision. He reshaped industries, computers, music, phones, design. He changed the way the world communicates and creates. This was not luck. It was not chance. It was definiteness of purpose carried with fire. Now think of Oprah Winfrey. She was born in rural poverty, raised in hardship, scarred by abuse. By all accounts, her life was meant to be small and silent. But as a young girl, she found one gift: her voice. She spoke with conviction even when no one listened. She carried herself as if her words mattered, even when the world told her otherwise. Her early career was filled with rejection. She was told she did not fit the mold, that she did not belong on television. But she refused to drift into silence. She decided, I will not hide. I will not shrink. She worked. She persisted. She poured herself into her craft. From small local stations, she rose step by step until her presence filled national screens. The world could no longer ignore her. Oprah did not wait for luck or for pity. She built an empire of influence, not by inheritance or connections, but by decision and definiteness. She chose mastery, and the world bowed to her choice. Do you see the pattern? Jobs, Winfrey, different worlds, different paths, yet the same hidden law. Jobs lost his company, but he chose not to drift. He built again. Winfrey was born into hardship, but she chose not to drift. She spoke until the world was forced to hear. These are not accidents. These are not miracles. These are not the gifts of chance. They are proof that wealth does not come to those who wait, but to those who decide. They are proof that poverty is not a sentence, but a habit. They are proof that greatness obeys law, not luck. And the law is waiting for you right now. It does not ask for your degree, your connections, or your bank account. It asks only this: will you drift or will you master? The law is not a single step. It is not one magic word. It is a chain of 7 links, 7 rules that bind drifting thought into definite action. 7 rules that have lifted the poor into wealth, the unknown into fame, the weak into strength. At the end of this video, if you obey what you hear, you will hold that chain in your hands. You will know exactly what to do tonight, tomorrow, and each day after. And if you persist, you will awaken one morning to find that your life has shifted, that you are no longer drifting, you are reigning. Now let us begin with the first rule. Wealth begins not in vaults, not in banks, not in opportunities handed down from above. Wealth begins on paper. The drifting man talks in clouds. He dreams aloud, he wishes, he hopes, but nothing changes. The master writes. The master takes a pen, names the exact sum he will possess, names the date it will be his, and names the service he will give in return. When you write your decree, you do more than scribble on a page. You give form to your desire. You command your own mind. You create a contract between your conscious will and your subconscious power. Think of the great builders of wealth. John D. Rockefeller wrote down his figures long before oil made him rich. Andrew Carnegie planned the capacity of his furnaces before the steel was ever forged. Henry Ford drew lines of motion before a single machine turned. Their empires began not with money, but with ink. Do not think it childish to write sums and dates. The world calls it simple, but the subconscious calls it command. Money is timid around vague men, but it obeys those who are bold and clear. You are no longer drifting. You are definite. Without writing, your wish dissolves into mist. With writing, your decree becomes stone. Here is the drill. Take a pen tonight and write your decree. State the exact sum you will have. State the exact date you will have it. State the exact service you will render in exchange. Then read it aloud each morning and each night. Do not whisper as if ashamed. Speak as if you were a herald announcing destiny. Speak with gratitude as though the decree were already fulfilled. Your words will impress your subconscious, and your subconscious will begin to arrange the circumstances, the ideas, the opportunities, and the allies to make it real. Rule 2. Ignite desire. A decree written on paper is only the beginning. Without fire, it is lifeless. Without desire, it is nothing more than ink. When your heart is set aflame, the world bends to it. Opportunities hurry, people respond, and time itself shorten, as if pulled forward by the heat of your decision. Think of Steve Jobs again. When the world laughed at his visions, he did not wish, he burned. Think of Oprah. When she was told she did not fit the mold, she did not hope, she burned. Desire is not passive. It is active, restless, and consuming. It gives you energy when others are tired. It sharpens your mind when others are dull. So how do you awaken this fire? You must see your goal as if it were already here. Picture the money in your hands. Picture the home you live in, the freedom you feel, the service you give. Hear the sounds, feel the weight, smell the air of that life, and then tie your desire to something greater than yourself. If your purpose is only selfish, your fire will fade. But when your desire lifts others, when it creates, serves, or inspires, the fire will not die. It will grow hotter every day. Guard this fire. Every day the world will try to throw water on it. Fearful news, mocking voices, wasted hours, they are buckets of cold. Protect yourself. Stay close to books, people, and habits that feed your flame. A thought kept inside the mind is like a soldier waiting without orders. But when you give it words, you send it marching. The subconscious mind does not argue. It does not ask if your command is possible. It obeys repeated words spoken with belief and emotion. This is the law of autosuggestion. It is how brass thoughts are hammered into golden results. It is how vague desire becomes definite command. Every morning and every night, take your decree and speak it aloud. Do not whisper. Do not mumble like one who doubts. Speak as though your words are law. Say the exact sum, the exact date, the exact service, the exact blessing. Repeat it until your subconscious accepts it as fact. Then it will begin to arrange the ideas, the meetings, the paths, and the proofs that match your words. Do not rush. Too many men rush through affirmations like chores, but the subconscious is not moved by hurried sound. It is moved by steady, passionate, repeated declaration. Speak your decree with gratitude in advance. Thank life as though the harvest were already yours. This is not pretense. It is proof of faith. Faith spoken aloud is the signal that infinite intelligence obeys. Barnes did this. For years, with no evidence, He repeated to himself, "I am Edison's partner," until his subconscious believed it, and his actions aligned with it, and then the world confirmed it. Rule 4. Lend me your wings. The Mastermind. No man builds an empire alone. One mind, no matter how brilliant, is limited. But when two or more minds unite in harmony, something greater is born, an invisible power that multiplies their strength. This is the Mastermind principle. It is not a meeting, it is not chatter, it is fusion, it is creation. It is the spark that leaps when iron strikes steel. Andrew Carnegie admitted openly that his fortune would have been impossible without this law. He surrounded himself with men who were bold, skilled, and definite. Together they created a power greater than any one of them could command. Think also of Thomas Edison. Though a genius, his laboratory was never a lonely room. It was a hive of assistants, thinkers, and craftsmen. Their harmony multiplied his vision, turned ideas into inventions, and inventions into fortunes. Choose your allies carefully. Character first, knowledge second. A crooked man will poison the whole group. Better a few in harmony than many in discord. Meet regularly. Begin with your decree. Speak obstacles as drafts to be improved, not walls to be feared. Hold each other to decisions. End with action, not with talk. When you do this faithfully, a greater mind arises. Ideas multiply. Courage deepens. Energy grows. It is as if you have been given wings you did not have alone. Rule 5. Go the extra mile. Most men are paid only once by their wage, but the man who is destined for wealth is paid twice. Once for the work he does today, and again for the treasure his extra service buys tomorrow. This is the law of the extra mile. To give more and better service than you are paid for is the arithmetic of greatness. No man who obeys this law can remain poor, for reward is always the shadow of service. Think of Woolworth, once a clerk sweeping floors. He swept with care, studied customers, noticed what others ignored. His extra service planted the seed for the chain of stores that later bore his name. Think of Henry Ford. He paid men higher wages than his rivals and gave them better conditions. He went the extra mile for them, and they for him. The result was loyalty, speed, and a fortune without end. Today, choose one part of your passion to give more attention. It may be one page of a book that sparks an idea. It may be 10 minutes practicing your craft with extra focus. It may be reaching out to someone who inspires you simply to learn. Do something small, but do it with care. Add one detail, one moment, one act of love for what you are building. Do not announce it. Do not measure it. Let the practice speak for itself. Do the same tomorrow, and again the day after. Soon you will notice momentum. Where before there was hesitation, new ideas will open, doors will appear, allies will arrive. Because the law cannot be cheated. Extra devotion always purchases extra reward. Rule 6. Decision and action. Wealth does not wait on years, it waits on moments. And the difference between drifting and mastering often comes down to a single day. Most people waste their hours in hesitation. They say, "I'll start tomorrow, I'll try later, I'll wait until I'm ready." But tomorrow never arrives, and readiness never comes. The drifter treats time as his enemy. He lets days slip away, coins dropped into the gutter of regret. The master treats time as his servant. He uses each hour as an investment, a seed that multiplies. Think of this. History itself is built on single days. One day Gonzales preached and $1 million came by morning. One day Lincoln signed a decree and freedom broke chains. One day a young creator published their first work and a career began. The timid say, one day cannot matter, and fortune knows the truth. One day can change everything. Write down the one act you have delayed. It may be a call you fear to make. It may be sharing your work, your art, or your voice for the first time. It may be starting that project that burns in your heart. Do it tomorrow. Do it before the excuses arrive. Do it before breakfast if you must. Do not wait for courage. The act itself creates courage. Do not wait for clarity. The act itself creates clarity. Do not wait for proof. The act itself creates proof. Trade 24 hours of drifting for 24 hours of mastery, and you will never look at a single day the same again. Rule 7. Seal it in the subconscious. Every great achievement begins not in the outer world, but in the inner world. The subconscious mind is your silent partner. It never sleeps, it never argues. It accepts whatever you give it, and it multiplies it. If you feed it doubt, it will deliver defeat. If you feed it fear, it will deliver hesitation. But if you feed it faith, clarity, and gratitude, it will deliver fortune. Your duty is to guard its gate. Protect your inner court as you would protect gold. Do not let cynics or mockers plant weeds in your soil. Each night before you sleep, speak your decree with calm authority. Picture tomorrow's act as already done. Give thanks as if the reward were already in your hands. This is not empty ritual. It is the covenant that seals your destiny. While you rest, the subconscious works. It arranges meetings, gathers ideas, creates momentum. In the morning, you will call it inspiration or a sudden idea, but it is simply the law obeying your command. Create a small ritual before bed and write down 3 small wins from the day. Then speak your decree again and visualize the act you will take tomorrow. And at last, give thanks for what you have and for what is already on its way. These next simple acts will keep your subconscious clean and focused. Once a week, take time for renewal. Read your decree, count your blessings, mend one weakness, choose one bold step for the week ahead, and send one message of gratitude to an ally. Neglect them and weeds will grow. You have heard the law. 7 rules that separate the drifter from the master, the poor from the rich, and the forgotten from the remembered. Write the decree, ignite desire, speak the law, unite in the mastermind, go the extra mile, decide and act in 24 hours, seal it in the subconscious. This is the chain, 7 links of power, 7 habits of mastery, 7 steps that no man or woman can obey without rising. Do not leave these words as inspiration. Make them your practice. Write now, speak tomorrow. Persist until the habit is yours. Habit becomes character. Character becomes destiny. The timid will call you obsessed. The drifters will call you lucky. The critics will call you arrogant, but results will silence them all. If these words have spoken to you, do not let them pass without action. Subscribe now so you never miss the next lesson. Each new episode will carry another step, another truth, another law to sharpen your mind and strengthen your mastery.